Well, we're just about to get started here. Are you all ready? We've got a bit of a countdown going on. Is it 10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
Well, we're just about to get started here.
I don't need to hear myself coming back at myself, do I now? I've got a couple of screens going on here. See you on here. I hope you're all doing well and you recovered from yesterday. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Recovered from yesterday. Did you all do your homework? I mean, that's the first thing. Did you all do your homework? Yeah? I hope so. I hope so. So, what did we cover yesterday? Just let me make a few changes here. You think that 10 minutes would be enough, wouldn't you? And then you're on again. And you haven't even got your lights on. My goodness, there you go. You can see me now, can't you? You can see all my writing on the wall. That way, all my writing. That's a good idea. You know what you can do actually is you can literally paint your whole wall with your business. It's absolutely incredible when you do that. When I started to do that, that's when I could actually see my business rather than being in a piece of paper or a business plan. You know, the one thing that I loved about Bob Proctor is that he said he's never written a business plan in his life. And I'm like, that's the man for me. That's absolutely the man for me. So what I do is I literally draw on my walls. I have literally white walls that I draw on and I put everything on there and then I see what I want and then it comes to me without word of a lie. I mean, totally without word of a lie. Anytime I've written anything up there, I've had a phone call or an email from somebody to tell me or to ask me, can I work with you on this, this, and this? And I said, that's really funny because 5 minutes ago, I just put up there that I didn't want to do that anymore and I wanted somebody else to do that for me. And here you are. You just came in. How good is that? So yesterday, what was our homework? To find out what you truly wanted. Now, I know that there's a few things that I said yesterday that sort of went whoa, over people's heads, and that is absolutely great. I want to disrupt your thinking. I want you to stop thinking the way you're thinking and think something different and think for yourself. Because if we don't disrupt your thinking, you know, anything we know about physics is anything in motion will continue in motion until there's something to stop it. Well, that's what Sheenacantar is here for, to stop it. I love telling the truth. And you know what? The truth hurts sometimes. But what I'll do is I'll be gentle on you. Sort of. It doesn't really help you if I don't challenge you, if I don't hold a mirror up. And I love it if you can challenge me right back. I just love it. Because then we're going to get to your truth, not my truth. Although I will find out my truth when I have conversations with you as well. So how did you get on yesterday? So it was, what do you truly want? Who wants to put it? Who's going to be brave enough to put it in the chat? What do you truly want? What is it? I mean, really want. Not what your mummy wants, not what somebody else has told you to want, not what the world has told you to want. But what is it that you truly want? Go on, don't be shy. Put it in there. And hey, Debbie, you said that you're looking for a large whiteboard. You don't need the board. You just need the paper. It's like a big roll of paper. You put this big roll of paper around your walls and it's whiteboard roller paper. It's like wallpaper. And then you write all over it. It's so cool. It's absolutely so cool. So get one of those. So tell me what you truly want. What do you truly desire? It's really key, this. You see, that's the start of where we are, is that if we don't actually know what we want, how are we going to get it? How are we going to recognize it when we see it? You see, I asked quite a lot of you beforehand, what's the one question that will change your life right now? Make your life better, even better. If it's good, how would it make it even better? Not one of you came back with one question. Not one of you. You see, it's like, imagine if we went to the supermarket and I asked for food. What do you think I'm going to get? Here's a tin of beans, Sheena. Great. Well, it's food, isn't it? So, if you ask for more money and to be financially free, I mean, what does that mean? Because being financially free to one person means having a fiver. There you go, Debbie. You put down peace, tranquility, independence. Yeah, peace. But what does that look like? What does it look like? So if I walk into Tesco's and I ask for peace, what is that? You could end up in the middle of nowhere with nothing around you. Boom, you've got your peace and tranquility and independence. But is that what you meant? Is that what you meant? What is the one camera shot that means you did it? Can I tell you mine? Whenever I moved into this house, it was actually 3 months later because I was working so hard. I hadn't really lifted my head. It just didn't take my focus off what I was doing and I didn't appreciate really. But I was standing in the kitchen making dinner and I looked around and I saw like Connor and Shannon. And all of a sudden I had a flashback to my picture. My picture was I would be standing in the kitchen making dinner, beef stroganoff. Well, they had beef, I had mushroom, stroganoff. And they would be sitting on the couch laughing and joking behind me. And all of a sudden I went, that was my paradigm shift. That is what I wanted. That what was on my goal card. That's what was in my heart. Boom, right there. Can you be that specific? What is the one image that you're looking for? The other piece of homework was, did you look at your bank account and see any sort of investment in yourself at all? Now, you may say a meal out's investment. You may say your pair of shoes was investment. But did you think about that at the time whenever you were buying them? Or did you think, oh, God, I shouldn't really be spending this money. Oh my God, that's a lot of money. Oh my God, I shouldn't be buying that. Did you? These are all really important factors because it's what are you demonstrating? This is the key. Not what you know. I spoke to somebody yesterday, and if you're watching, you know who it is, who in the program that I'm studying on is thinking into results, and he's been studying lesson 1 for a month. He's trying to understand it, but he's trying to understand it intellectually, not subjectively. You're all trying to get objects into your life. Well, who was it who said, George Orwell, that we'll realize that there is no objective world and we'll see the lies that we've been told? Thought I'd throw that one into the mix and just mess around with your brains a little bit. So let's get back to where were we yesterday? So we're talking about a paradigm shift. So this is what we were on about. So this was that everything has frequencies. So yesterday was all about prosperity consciousness and really just getting you to test your own prosperity consciousness. Just opening up your mind a little bit, disrupting your thoughts. Because if we can disrupt your thoughts, maybe you'll think something different. Maybe you'll think for yourself. Wow, wouldn't that be good? I like that, Debbie. You're getting more specific. That's brilliant. Hot chocolate in my kitchen, warm stone floors, welcoming family and friends for Christmas. Yes, yes, yes. There you go. Can you feel that? Can everybody feel that? Let me say that again. Hot chocolate in my kitchen, warm stone floors. So I take it you've got underfloor heating. Oh, I can feel it right now. Welcoming family and friends for Christmas. Wow. How cool. That'd be amazing. I'm there, Debbie, I'm there. Can I come? Can I come for a little hot chocolate? That would be absolutely, and it's got cream and it's got marshmallows. Do you feel the difference? Do you feel the difference in asking for what you want objectively and subjectively? Objectively is in your mind. That's what the vision board is. That's not going to get you results. Subjectively from your heart to feel it. I mean, how can you feel money? Maybe you can. Maybe you can see it on your phone in your bank account. And when you look at it, you smile and you go, oh my goodness, look. And you stop to feel it for that moment. Now, I know, let me tell you, in the corporate world, what's it like? Feelings. Well, we can't be doing with feelings. I am not talking about sympathy or crying or, you've had a bad day and you need a mental health day. My goodness. So I'm not talking about that at all and being soft on people. Not a chance. In fact, if anything, you're going to be tougher on them. And you know why? Not out of, you got to do this and you got to do that. But because if you don't challenge people and get them to stand up for what they want and really understand them and come from your heart and look for a true win-win, how are you helping them by being soft? That's not helping anybody. Doesn't mean that I don't understand your journey, but here's the thing. If I understand your journey too much, that's not the journey I want to understand. The journey I want to understand is, where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? What do you really want? So many times we don't even know the answer to that. The more specific we are, sometimes we can't get to specificity and we can be general. But then there's those moments like Debbie has with the hot chocolate and the kitchen floor and Christmas and everybody coming in. I mean, I see that now, Debbie, for you. I can feel that. I am now on a heart-to-heart connection with Debbie. I can feel it. Can you all feel it too? The biggest mugs all around. Is that the people or the actual hardware, Debbie? So it's a paradigm shift we're looking for. Instead of thinking outside in and allowing the outside world to affect how we feel, we choose to look at our world from the inside out. Now look at the odds of that. Remember what I said yesterday, that it was 99.999% versus 0.0001%. Now, if you were booking on a horse, and it was 99% chance of winning, and the other one was 1% chance of winning, now who the heck are you going to bet on? You're going to bet on the horse that's a 99% chance of winning, aren't you? That's your subjective world. That's your emotional world. And if we can literally match your corporate targets with the personal targets, and when you do that, magic, 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 magic. Because that's what happened to me. I wanted to be a clinical effectiveness consultant for the #1 pharmaceutical company in the world for 15 years. I wasn't anywhere near the leaderboard. And then I matched me. I played me. I found out who I was. And within 6 months, I was #1 in the UK across what I thought were highly qualified people who should have been way over there. But they were all strategy people still talking about it. I was the action taker. I just took their information and ran it. Did it. So I became #1. That meant that I was top 10% globally, premier performer, 6 months. Now that's a paradigm shift. That's a paradigm shift. What did I do? I focused on the result. I didn't hang on to it. I didn't cling to it. I didn't actually look at any figures either, by the way, which really annoyed some people. Because Sheena didn't have a clue what her SVT was. But I knew what the sales were. And I knew what I was saving for the customer. I knew that my sales were going up. I knew that my customers' expenses were going down. And I knew that the patients were being treated in a healthier way. That's all I needed to know. I'm not saying that's everybody's answer. Some of you like figures, but my figures were like a report card. My bank account was like a report card. My sales figures were like my school report card. Now, does anybody remember from school? Does anybody, just tell me this, did anybody say to you, you could do better? Do you know what I've realised was that the teachers could do better as well. And actually, they kept saying it to you to make you better when actually it was them that wanted to be better. So remember these prosperity affirmations from yesterday. I am so happy and grateful now. Money flows easily to me from multiple sources, increasing amounts in a continuous way. Because there was something else I did. I manifested 100,000 at that time as well. But I lost my job. How funny was that? You got to be careful what you ask for. I got my 100,000 in redundancy. I was made number one and made redundant at the same time. And I went, need to be a bit clearer in how I speak to the universe. So make excuses or get results. It's all about a decision. I just made a decision, but I didn't cling to it and I didn't plead. I just made a decision. So here's the thing: ask, believe, receive. When you can't even ask properly, you don't even know what you're believing in. So how the hell are you going to receive it? Do you get it? Is this starting to resonate with you? Is this starting to resonate maybe with your team? That you think that your team are all in agreement? Listen, I was in sales and I just said yes because I knew that it was yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir. I will do whatever you ask me to do. I will do it. And I did it. But from here, never from here. And it certainly didn't link to my life. It was a job. I loved the job, but still a job. Remember, you're only as good as your weakest employee. You're only as great as your weakest reaction. If you haven't written that down yet, write it down. Big life lesson that I learned. So what does prosperity mean to you? So last night we had Douglas Vermeeren, millionaire from the age of 19. Now, I'm not here to teach you how to be millionaires. You can be a millionaire if you want. But he raised a lot of good questions. Just, do you really need $1 million? What do you want $1 million for? This is what I ask you. This is what the 10-minute clarity call is all about. Because you don't even know what you want. You don't even know what you want. What does true prosperity mean to you? True prosperity to you, not to somebody else. A prosperity consciousness, knowing that everything is there. So in the title of this event, it is tell me what you want and I will show you how to get it. That's what I can promise. That's what I can guarantee. What you do with that information, completely up to you. Completely up to you. What does prosperity mean to you? Does anybody want to give me some ideas? I mean, for Debbie, it's obviously her hot chocolate. Some people, it's friends and family being around. For me, I'll show you something in a minute. But let's talk about what a paradigm is. So a paradigm, a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior, and almost all of our behavior is habitual. Let me say that again. A mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior, and almost all of our behavior is habitual. I'm going to show you a diagram shortly that will show you what I mean about this. You're 2% conscious, 98% subconscious. Most of what you do is driven by your subconscious. You have so many habits that you can't even see. And so you delete, distort, and generalize information that comes to you. Your subconscious is taking on millions of bits of information every single second, every single day. And yet, your conscious mind is only taking about 2,000. And yet you believe the 2,000. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Look at what you've achieved with that. And you're only messing around with those 2,000 that are regurgitating the past. Instead of using our creative imagination, we're using synthetic imagination. Look, the phone. How can we improve the phone? Let's do this, let's do that. That's not creativity. That's not true creativity. That's not inspiration. So what habits have you got? Now, these could be thought habits. They could be feeling habits. The greatest one is payday one. My goodness. When I was in a job, it was like payday. For 2 weeks, I was just the richest person in the world. And for the next 2 weeks, I was not the richest person in the world. Does anybody recognize that? Does anybody recognize that time? You're trained into that habitual behavior. So then whenever you become an entrepreneur, my goodness, you've been doing it for like 30 years and you're still in it and you're blaming everything else around you. And it's not. You've just been put in a habit. A salary is what a salary is what the world gives you to forget your dreams. I know some of you are doing really well. But what if you took your annual salary and made it monthly? What if? Are you waiting around for that bonus? Are you waiting around for that 1%, 2%, 3%, 10% increase? My goodness, I remember one time getting 10% increase. I thought it was flipping amazing. But see, when you earn your annual salary in a month, you sort of go, that's funny that. Took me all year. Then you realize, you start to become aware of, oh my goodness, there's more. And it's not about the money. It's what I can do with that money. It's the experiences that I can live with that money. It's the people I can help with that money. Wow. What fun. So here's the thing. How did our paradigms get in there? Well, you see, our subconscious is just totally open. As a child, our mum said something. Our dad said something. Your Auntie Betty said something. The radio, the TV. Ever notice the TV's called programs? Do you ever wonder that? Programming. Funny that. Other people, news, other people's opinions. You think the baby's sleeping so you can say what you want, you can argue all you want. And all that is going into the baby, including whenever you were carrying the baby. How did you feel about money? What were you going through whenever you were carrying your baby? See, I know all this because I know how my children have been programmed. And they think they're all right. And I have to laugh to myself because I just think, I know how you've been programmed because I programmed you. So one day you'll sit down and really take all this stuff seriously. I mean, they are drip fed on a constant basis, so it does get better and better and better. But you today, you carry on with your programming, don't you? You go and ask your mum advice on something and look at her life. What does she know? It's an opinion. It's a perception. Look at the person you're asking for advice. Like, isn't it funny how we go to the bank? Sorry for if anybody's working in the bank and you're a business advisor, but you've never run your own business. Why would I ask you for advice? Why? Then somebody wants to advise me on my money from the bank. But you're earning a salary. You've got even less than me. Why would I take your advice? But we've been programmed into that these big corporations have your answer. You have your answer. Doesn't mean that you can't work for a big corporation. Fill your boots. But know who you're taking opinions from. That's why I went to Bob Proctor. He's been doing this personal development for 60 years. And I thought, well, he must know something about it. I think he must know something about it. So remember, whatever it is you want, you've got to make a committed decision and you've got to be on the wavelength of that. You've got to feel it. You've got to see it. You've got to stop thinking from your current results. Even Einstein said that you cannot have anything different from the same thinking that got you there. That's what we mean. You've got to think different. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Stop trying to solve the problems and focus on the solutions. That's a whole different mindset game. So what do your paradigms control? Well, your perception. Perception's everything. You just put a piece of paper in the middle of your desk and write your problem on it and then sit at different chairs. They do that in CBT. But we're not looking for discuss the problem. We're looking for the solution. What would Bob Proctor say? What would God say? What would Jesus say? What would Allah say? What would anybody say? You pick somebody that you relate to. And they'll be soon coming out, what would Sheena say? That's what my kids think. When they're stuck, they go, what would Sheena say? And even my clients have started doing that too. Listen, your use of time. Wow. You're thinking you're working for 8 hours. I bet you every last cent in my bank account, you are not working for 8 hours. You are not being productive for 8 hours. Science shows us that we are actually productive for 2.5 hours in a day. Anything over that, you drop by 50%. Whenever I wanted to go and see my mum before she passed away, I had a day's work I needed to get done. I was sitting at the airport and I did that day's work in 1 hour. And I went, aha, there was the paradigm. Oh, I'm so busy, I can never get it done. Creativity. I didn't even think that I was creative. Do you know why? Because I was too busy being busy. I know what it's like when you're in a job. Busy, busy, busy. Whenever I used to go back and do contracts for the pharmaceutical companies, that's what all I used to hear is everybody saying I'm busy and busy. And I'm like, no, you're not. And anyway, if you're a leader and you're saying that you're busy, what you tell me then is you don't even know how to manage your time and yourself. So how the heck are you managing anybody else? So please, if you're saying that, quit saying it if you want to be a leader. I mean, if you want an excuse, just say busy, because that's what it is. It's just an excuse. We haven't prioritized ourselves. That's it. And if you don't like what I'm saying, I can't help it. Stuff I found out about myself. I'm telling you my truth. I'm telling you what I've found out. Busy is an excuse. It's your paradigm, but you can't see it. It's not your fault. Don't beat yourself up. It's just the way it is. Listen, you know what? You're absolutely perfect the way you are, and we're going to show you that too. But we don't know what we're controlled by. You may be making great headways in your life, but my goodness, I manifested things before, but I just didn't know how great I was, that I could manifest 10 times that and have more fun. When Wolfgang, my partner, was looking at hotel deals, he couldn't get 7 million, but he could get 50 million, then he could get 100 million, then he could get 300 million. And I started to see the fun and the joy. 7 million felt like hard work. 300 million felt like fun. What would you rather work with? Effectiveness. This is non-productive actions and productive actions. Let me tell you, I've got that one down. There's nothing that I do that is non-productive. And my team are learning the same thing. It's productive actions. What's going to get a result? Only do that. Anything else is nice to do or hand it over to somebody else. Your productivity. Obviously, that's going to come. The more effective you are, the more productive you are. Logic is the best one. Oh my goodness, if you were trying to be logical, then you're in your left brain and you were only repeating what you've already done. I mean, it may look different, but if you go for logic, you're in your box. You're in your paradigm box. You've got to do the illogical. Walk around today going, do the illogical, do the illogical, do the illogical, and it'll scare you. You know what? You'll feel alive. Because some of you are feeling scared and feeling crushed. But when you start doing the illogical, You feel alive. You step out of your box. Let's do, I don't know, let's go dancing naked in the rain. That's illogical. Anybody done that, by the way? As long as you're in your own back garden, that's all right. Oh, you can do it anywhere else you want, but you might get arrested. Do the illogical. You see, being successful. So Douglas said this last night. Somebody said to him, as a karate person, what's the average time it takes for somebody to get to black belt? And he said, the average person doesn't get to black belt. He says, it's the same for millionaire. The average time to get to millionaire is 24 months. That's the average time. The average person doesn't get to be a millionaire. You see, what we're looking at in the common success denominator is that you're looking for pleasing methods, and then you have to accept the results. Make it easy, make it easy, make it easy. Don't wish it was easy. Wish you were better. And then it'll be easy. But what the successful people do is they will do whatever it takes here so they have the results they want. End of. Which one are you? Are you looking for those pleasing methods? Oh, I don't want to do Facebook Lives. I don't want to do this. I don't like sending emails. I don't like sending messages. I don't like talking to people and asking them to buy my products. Whatever. You don't want it enough, do you? Do the illogical. Then you will get results. Now, here's the biggest paradigm shift of all, your self-image. Susan, I see that you said that you danced in the rain last week, but not naked. I don't know, Susan, you may as well go and try it. What the heck? I'm sure it'll rain sometime in the UK or wherever. It's going to rain at some time. And play that song as well. So listen, here's my self-image. Let me tell you something. When I was 19, my mum had told me that I wasn't academic, and so I didn't go on to I went to grammar school, but she had me go to college to be a medical secretary. And so in my head, I was a medical secretary, and that was it. I mean, I had to pass exams. Obviously did have a brain, but there you go. So I went to the RAF to be an admin girl. Now, what happened was that they did an IQ test, and they actually asked me to do bypass interviews and go straight to officer training. My IQ came out at 160. Like, I didn't even understand what that meant because I didn't understand IQ tests. And I thought they were talking to the wrong person, and I actually was scared. I was literally thinking, oh my goodness, they've got the wrong person. They're going to find me out. So I slipped quietly away, and I never answered any email or phone call. My self-image was not in alignment with what they were offering me because I was a secretary, not an officer, because I had been programmed that way. But then when my first marriage, didn't go the way I planned, I was so angry at the world, but I knew that I couldn't live in anger. And I took all that energy and I pointed it towards a degree, a computer science degree. And I got an honors. And I was like, well, wow, somebody told me I couldn't study. So then I went on a stream of qualifications, studied to master's level in coaching, business, NLP, Reiki, hypnotherapy. I'm sure I said coaching before, but whatever. Lots of other postgraduate qualifications as well. And then I realized that wasn't getting me anywhere. But that was the other thing, was that when I got to number one with the pharmaceutical company, what happened is that I had changed my self-image. My self-image had changed. It was actually okay to be me. I realized, and probably all of you here as well, is that it's not okay to be you. No matter the bigger the ego, the more I see through you, the more protection I see. It doesn't mean that you have to be a softie. I don't mean that. And melt and cry and be vulnerable. But you can be vulnerable and strong. You can be open and strong. And that is the biggest strength ever. Ego on its own is force. And that's the energy you're putting through your body. You see, it wasn't okay to be me. And I know I'm not the only one, because I meet lots of people who it's not okay to be them. I ask you if you're okay and you go, yeah, yes, I'm great, I'm this, I'm that, and the other. But I know when I have a call with you and I look you right in the eye, I get to the heart of your matter. Everybody's honest with me because I'm being honest with you. Imagine if you could do this for your employees. Imagine if you could get to the honesty core of them and what they want and whether they're meant for your company or not. You could release them to go and do a job that they really want to do. And you can keep the employees who really want to grow your company. Which would you rather have working with you? Don't be afraid of people leaving. They were supposed to leave. They weren't right. So there's two ways to change a paradigm. One is constant spaced repetition. And I'm going to go through something with you tomorrow that will show you how to do this. Constant spaced repetition, because that's how you got programmed in the first place. That's how you got programmed in the first place. That's the work that I do. But also an emotional impact. So we tend to think of emotional impacts as negative. But when I had my business profiler done and I understood my strengths, I understood me. And it was okay to be me. That set me free to work exactly the best I could be, because I was coming from my strengths and I knew them in 5 words. And I went straight to number 1 without looking at sales figures, because all I did was enjoy my job and do my job the way Sheena does her job. Unique to me, like my thumbprint here. Unique to me. Do you know how unique you are? I can literally tell you within a 240 times 40 zeros power of your uniqueness. Now, we only have 7 billion people on the planet. So the uniqueness that I'm sharing with you is for galaxies. But sure, book a call if you want to know more about that. I'm sure somebody will put up my calendar link here for you to see. And you can book a call if you want to discuss that. But I'm telling you now, right here, right now, it's okay to be you. Exactly as you are. Not the ego you, the real you. And there's so much more that happens when you do that, because you end up working with collaboration rather than competition. Science has proven that too. Competition doesn't get the results. Collaboration gets more results. And make sure your why doesn't get in the way. You see, I want 1 million. Why? Well, because I want to do this, do that, and do the other. Let me tell you, my why brought me down. My why was so huge that I drove myself to nothing. Yeah? To nothing. That's what it felt like. I mean, I don't think anybody else had that opinion of me except for me. But I took on responsibility for my son, for my daughter, for the fact that I had everything and then lost it. I took on that responsibility. You see, if your why is attached to somebody else's results, somebody else's life, responsibility, that you have the responsibility to do this, that, and the other, that's all coming from lack. I want to do this to save the world. What, you think the world isn't saved? I want to do this to help people. What, do you think people need help? I want to do this so I can feel safe. So you're not safe. Do you see what you're telling the universe right now? This now is creating the next now. So what are you telling? What are you telling the universe? This is my son. This was the why that brought me down. But the reason I'm showing you this is because I'm giving you examples of a paradigm shift demonstration. So this is when I say, it's not just about the money, but do not be indifferent to money, because if you want money, have the money, but have the money out of pure joy. Bob Proctor says, what's your goals? 2 million a week. Why? Because I can. For the pure joy of it. Do not attach it to anything else. Have the money for the pure joy of it. But I'm going to share with you some of my paradigm shifts to show that it's not just about the money. This is personal. This is business. And if you get the personal right, the business follows, because your business is personal. Your business is people. You are your business. So many people I've heard about their companies, you know, oh, it's all changed. And I said, if the CEO changed, yes, well then, that energy of the CEO is filtering through to the business. If you're complaining about your team, it's your energy. You may not like me saying that, but it is. Every time. Do not complain about your team. Leave the world alone. The correction is inside you. So here's my son. Here's a paradigm shift I want to give you some demonstrations of that are beyond money, beyond priceless. My son had been having some troubles probably for about 10 years. He's 28 now. And for the last few years, I mean, he really took himself to a place that, like, I went there with him in every single cell of my body too, and took on that responsibility. And so I wanted a house that I could at least be here. So I set about not making it happen because it wasn't working. That making it happen brought me down. It's exhausting. I knew there had to be a different way of thinking. So I applied all the principles of my work with Bob Proctor. And I allowed things to happen. I kept a vision. I held a vision. When Connor came to me, he literally picked up the phone in October and said, Mum, come and get me. I've had enough. I was in that car. I was on my way there because I knew what would happen. And this is what happens whenever you book on a program and you choose to study. You go, oh my God, have I done the right thing? Because it's exactly what Connor did. He phoned me up and he goes, oh no, it doesn't matter. Too late. I'm outside. I mean, literally, I was outside because I was waiting for that call, knowing it would happen. And 4 months later, but bear in mind, when he came, he couldn't walk the length of himself. He couldn't think of anything else except how to even get out of bed. This is a picture 4 months. He looks even better than that. I must get a new picture. But 4 months, he had a job, clean, and top sales guy. Seeing his daughter. I can't pay for that. And I didn't do it the way you would have done it if you'd have gone to some rehab center. I did it this way. I did it the thinking into results way. I did it Bob Proctor's way. He said, if your way isn't working, try mine. Is your way working? Let me ask you that. Is your way working? Try Bob's way, which is now my way. He's only learned it from Andrew Carnegie, for goodness sake. I mean, just happens to be the wealthiest guy in the world. But this is happy, healthy, wealthy. This isn't get rich quick. This is changing lives from the inside out. And he's just gone from strength to strength. Book a call. Have a chat. There's something going on in your life. That's why you're here. You know it can be better. Where's the other paradigm shift? In this house, 6 months of me drawing a picture, 6 months later, in this house. And you know what's really incredible? Is that, see the trees that are lining the driveway there? They are pink cherry blossoms. Now, when we moved in, the cherry blossoms had all gone. But on my birthday, the 1st of April, I looked out the window and I saw the cherry blossoms. And it made me, I was just in tears because I remembered what my mum said. My mum had said, Sheena, you always wanted, when you were a child, you wanted a driveway lined with cherry blossoms. And there it was, I got that. So there's another paradigm shift. This was all with my thinking, all with my imagination. And then when the opportunity presented itself, I didn't have the money, but I stepped forward and said yes. Because if I kept looking at my bank account, that was my report card, the one that I was judging myself on. What do you judge yourself on? Your sales, SVT, KPIs? Let me tell you about a company that I worked with about a KPI. They were on 47% KPI. Listen, this is a Fortune 250 company. And when I worked with their team, immediately they went to 97 and 100% KPI. Immediately. That's what we talk about. That's what paradigm shifts are, from like one dimension to the next dimension. That's what paradigm shifts are. Paradigm shift would be my mum, before she passed away, my mum and I did not have a good relationship. We argued. She was so critical, but I changed me. I changed me. And the one time that I went to see her, probably only about 6 months before she passed away, because it was COVID and we couldn't actually get to see her as much. And I took her out for the day and she's in her wheelchair. And I shouldn't be left in charge of wheelchairs. It was pretty hilarious, actually. But when I came back and she said to me, something has changed, Sheena. And I like it. Now, what had I been imagining? I imagined that I would have nice words to say to my mum, and my mum would have nice words to say to me before she passed on. And there's been another couple of conversations beyond that as well, that instead of forcing them to happen, I imagined them. This was about being on the vibration of what I wanted, being the vibration and allowing it to happen. This is the paradigm shift. What paradigm shift do you want? You see, how did I go from reading a book, Think and Grow Rich, to working with Bob Proctor? To not only that, but being in Bob Proctor's top 10 out of 1,700 consultants, being in the top 10 twice so far in 6 months, but it's not good enough because I want to be number one. Well, I am number one. Do you see the difference in what I said there? I want to be number one to I am number one. I've been 10th and I've been 5th. So obviously I'm number one. What happens? How does that happen? That I end up interviewing, and some of the top consultants haven't interviewed Bob Proctor. How do I end up being involved in this movie? The sequel to The Secret, the stuff that I was talking about, to end up being in a movie that are more sequels to The Secret. How does all that happen? It's not from hard work. It's not from hard work. And these people that are working, their paradigm shift to go from being made redundant to making the business 200K, how does that happen in 4 months? Would you like that in your business? Would you? Maybe you want to have a chat with Maria. And what about Brian? Paradigm shifting himself in 6 months. He so wanted to have this business. And in 6 months, he made the jump. And a week later, he's in his international business and he's making his annual salary monthly. These are the demonstrations of paradigm shifts. These are the quantum leaps. Would you like a quantum leap? What is your quantum leap? What is your quantum leap? How do we do it? Now, let me show you this diagram here. I showed this to very senior CEOs, and they thought this was too simple. This is genius, this diagram. Take a picture of it. This is the secret genie. Pay attention to this diagram. I could go through the brain and I could tell you how your left brain works and your right brain works, and the different ways that they work, and how they link with each other, and how neurons connect to neurons, and how the right brain has their neurons are further away, and the left brain, they're all unorganized, way. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference to getting results, because it's just knowledge. Listen, I know, because I've been there. I don't need to get any more qualifications. What I need to do is demonstrate through my thoughts, my feelings, and my actions. So think of one part of your brain is the thinker, that is the conscious. The subconscious is the feeling. Your body then is a certain frequency because of this thought pattern. You know what it's like. You have a good day, bad day. That's what it is. It's a vibration. It's a frequency that you're on. Are you on happy FM or are you on sad FM? Are you on fake it till you make it FM? Because you can't fake it to the universe. Your employees may fake it to you. Can't fake it to me. I can see right through people. I can see your ego. I can feel lacking in confidence. I see right through you. Whether I say something or not's another matter, but it always comes out. Truth always comes out. But your vibration then will affect your actions, which then has an equal and opposite reaction from the universe, which causes your results. So when you're saying, my team aren't performing, you want to take a look at yourself. And here's the thing, some people don't like this, because I've spoken to people who have been in abusive relationships. And when they first heard this, they argued, and I went, well, you go ahead and you argue for your limitations, because you'll hold yourself right in that place and hold that behavior in place if you argue that it's their fault. I'm not saying you have to stay in an abusive relationship and figure it all out. No, get out. My goodness. Keep yourself safe, for goodness sake. But afterwards, recognize, what was my part? What was that showing about me? The moment you can start telling the truth to yourself is the moment you set yourself free. Free. So, here's the sciencey bit. Your conscious brain is only 2% of what's going on. You're consciously aware of about 2%. They've done a lot of studies and tests where they have pictures on screens and where you have to click buttons or you have to have a reaction and everything's monitored. Your conscious mind is 2 to 6 seconds behind what's going on. Let me say that again. Your conscious mind is 2 to 6 seconds behind what's going on. Wow. Who's running this show? Who's running this show? Your subconscious. And you've been ignoring those, that doesn't feel quite right. Oh, sure, it'll be okay. And going and doing it anyway. I'm wondering why you're not getting the reaction from somebody or something, or how the project doesn't go well, or how your business doesn't go well. Because your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are not in alignment. I mean, that's just one lesson, praxis, beliefs and behaviors. You've got beliefs going on that you don't even know what they are. And let me tell you, when you start to clear these beliefs, wow, 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 that's when you go, that was holding me in place. One after the other, after the other. So you see, there's nothing to grow with you. Your perfection itself, your brilliance itself. You truly are. You are perfection itself. You have paradigms, doubts, and you're just ignoring them. And you're plowing through anyway. And that's why life feels hard. I mean, just raise your hand here if anybody would literally like to have 98% doing the job for them. Don't you think that sounds easy? I mean, just imagine. It takes no more effort to be abundant and claim your wealth in this life than it does to accept any poverty or any lack of any sort. And that could be in your happy, healthy, wealthy, your relationships, the house that you're in, your friendships, your anything that's going on in your life, anything. If you're putting effort in, you're going in the wrong direction. I mean, we want to expand our world, but first of all, we've got to expand ourselves. And if we expand ourselves, then our world expands naturally. But the thing is that it brings you opportunities. Well, you've got to step into those opportunities. There's no point in doing all this expansion work and then an opportunity presents itself and you go, no, won't do it. No point. You're just holding yourself there. Who's ready to let go of all these excuses? Come on. All those watching on replay, everybody who is ready to let go of every single excuse and go, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Put it in the chat. Thumbs up. Yes, I don't care what you put in. I'm doing it. Yes, I'm ready. No more excuses. Type it in. Type it in. Because if you don't, you're probably not even ready. But you know what? You're absolutely wonderful where you are. Just stop kidding yourself. Stop fighting yourself. Just look around and go, if this is all I ever had, am I actually happy with this? Yes, well then, leave it be. Leave it be. But if you want more, you're going to have to find a new thought. And this is where the will comes in, not on the external world, but to hold the thought, to have your alignment. Listen, I've worked with people as well. Here's their paradigm shift. Somebody couldn't have a baby for 3 years, tried for 3 years. And I said to her, it's not IVF you need alignment. Can you feel the baby? Yes, well then the baby's there. You just need to be in alignment. 2 weeks. 2 weeks of this work and she got pregnant. It's my first TIR baby and there's another one on the way. It's incredible. Incredible. I had another friend, here's another paradigm shift, that apparently cancer is bad for you. It's your warning sign. My friend has gone through cancer. And it's like all the bad thoughts were pulled up and put into a little lump in her breast so it could be removed. She understood exactly why it was there across this area of her heart, this energy center of your heart. She knew exactly why because she studied this way. And her cancer was gone like that. And she is still intact. She refused to go for the treatment that they were talking about. But you've got the power to do that. You have that power to do that. But you see, you can only get what you've already got. You've got to be it now. That, no doubt, just knowing. You know the sun's in the sky behind the clouds, don't you? Well, so's your sun. Your sun is behind all these clouds. Yes, your sun. So this is what I started yesterday with. It's not who you are that's holding you back. And you may not even think that you're being held back. You may think that you're the most successful person. But I'm saying to you now, no matter what your salary is now, are you on 100K a year? Are you on 200K a year? What if you were on 200K a month? How would you change the world? Rather than complaining about the world, how would you change the world? Who are you making rich so that you end up with a rubbish pension? Why don't you make you and your family and your friends and things that are important to you rich? I don't know. But you're all right where you are. You really are. So that is what we're talking about here with paradigm shifts. So yesterday was all about prosperity consciousness, thinking about what is it? How are you thinking? What do you want? Clearly define it. Clearly define it. Make that committed decision. Be it. Do something illogical. Me? 70k in debt? Minus 2k on my bank account? Yes, Bob, I'll pay 30,000 and join your team. How are you going to get the money? I don't know. But I've made the decision. So it's got to be there. I don't look back at my bank account. I mean, I do actually look at my money once a month and that's it. But I'm not worried about money anymore. I've stopped the judgment. I just look forward, decide what I want and go, well, obviously the money's coming because I know where it comes from now. I know where money comes from. What are you going to decide today? Do you want some of those paradigm shifts? I don't know what's going on in your life. But I know that we all didn't come here on a free ride. We all came here to grow and to learn and to help others to grow and learn. And I realized this morning when I was sitting with my beautiful 6 a.m. call with other PGI consultants that we were talking about. I said, you know, we came here to remember who we truly are so that we can teach others to see. You cannot see that you're the light if you're in the light. So you have to be in darkness to see how bright you are. And the brighter you shine, the more people will see you. And if you can do that, then you can teach other people to shine brightly, and then we can have fun. Are you going through hell to get to heaven? Are you? It doesn't have to be that way. You can be in heaven right here, right now. This is your gift to the world. If you're watching this information, pass it on. Pass this live on to other people. Let's raise the awareness of people as to how great you totally are and create paradigm shifts in everybody. Tomorrow, I'm going to share with you how to do it. I'm going to share with you how I did it and how the other people I spoke to and how they did it. I'm going to share it all with you. Do you want to know? If you're still on here, I'm taking that you do. So your homework tonight is to fine tune an image that you will get out of bed for, that you will do anything for, that was going to be your next step. It doesn't have to be the big C-type goal. If you can get this massive goal and this massive vision, that's brilliant. But I want you to come up with something, a little picture, as if you've just taken a snapshot of it. And if you had that you would feel when you got it, that you had some element of success. It doesn't matter what it is, but I want you to be that specific with an image. I've got so many stories I could have shared with you. It's now nearly 5 past. So I'm going to leave it there. Book a call with myself or my team. The numbers are up there. They're in the Facebook group, The Key, The Secret with Sheenacantar. And you have an absolutely wonderful, wonderful day. And it's been my privilege to serve you into joy, peace, and gratitude for being here, and appreciation for listening. And let's changing the world together. Just win, win, win for everything. Have the most amazing day. I will see you shortly. Goodbye now.